then we kind of go from there. Okay, so I thought starting for this new year, I really wanted to, and I told you guys this, I think, a couple of times in like my PS group. I really want to help mentor you guys, not just to be like coaches or just like diamond coaches, but really help mentor you guys into becoming leaders, so that like when you bring on your coaches, I can help you mentor them, and then you can help mentor them into leaders too. And I really believe, and I think that Keith Callahan's book came out, and I actually got to like read that before it came out, and it's like an amazing book, and it totally like transform my thinking around how I've been growing my business, and not necessarily growing my business, but like mentoring my coaches. So these calls are really going to be like, I'll have topics so we can kind of like have like a little bit of a structure. And then like, if you guys have questions, we can do questions, or if you guys have like any struggles that you want to like go over, we can do that. So it's going to be like, there is going to be structure, but there's also going to be like flexibility to be like, if you guys are like, oh, I'm really struggling with this week, can we talk about this on our call? And it's going to be more like, instead of me just like teaching you guys, it's going to be like mentoring. I don't want to say hands-on, but like interactive, if that makes sense. So it's going to be more than just like the Misfit call that you guys, if you guys get on that tonight, because that's always on Mondays at 8:00 too. That's more like you sit back, you take notes, you learn. Where this is going to be like, I'm going to talk about things, but I'm also going to like want your guys' like, not feedback, but like, okay, like today we're going to talk about goals. So like, I want to hear what your guys' goals are, or your struggles, if we're talking about struggles or whatever. So that's kind of like my idea with this Zoom for Mondays. And it will be every Monday. We'll do every Monday at 7:00. Unless everybody's like, oh, I can't get on Monday, we could switch it to like Thursday or something. That way we have like consistent every single week. We see each other and we can kind of like work through what you're going through, instead of just like getting on like the team call and just listening. I'm hoping that makes sense. But the only way it works, Jenna, go you, and Allie, go her when she comes back, is if people get on. So that's the only way it's really going to work. And I mean, Jenna's amazing at getting on, so I'm going to toot her horn because she's always on calls. So even if it's me and her, it works even if it's me and her, but me and her we talk consistently, so it's fine. But like, I want to hear from all of you in the group too, not just from Jenna. Because she's going to have different struggles than you guys, and you guys are going to have different struggles than her. So like, everybody has to get on. And if I am making, I don't know what that is. That's weird. If I am making like the commitment and setting like this as an appointment every single week, I expect you guys to do the same thing, because I'm putting like up my time. Oh, boyfriend. I'm putting up my time, which I love. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love doing these kind of mentor calls, but if I'm putting up my time, I expect you guys to like schedule it and make it a point to be like, nope, I can't do that on Monday because I have a business call. And I think that's going to really help you guys like treat this like a business. Because I know when I first started, I didn't do that. I didn't like treat team calls like a business call. I would just be like, oh yeah, I have this call, but I can watch the recording, or I can skip it. And I know that like, since I started treating this like a business and started being like, nope, Monday nights, like I have a business call I have to be on. I can't miss that. Or like, if I was doing my own team calls like this, and I'm like, nope, Monday nights don't work for me to do a play date, or Monday nights don't work for me to like go out to dinner or anything like that. And I'm taking it serious in a sense where I'm like, this is my business, and I'm showing up for you guys, or I'm showing up for the Misfit call, or whatever the case is. It's going to help you like treat it like a business, and it will help other people see that you're treating it like a business, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing. So I know, and I'm going to share a lot of like examples from like just me from the last 7 years, but I know like when I didn't treat it like a business, and I was like super wishy-washy on like, oh, I'd kind of work my business, or I'd like, I feel like for like the first 2.5 years, I would work my business like 4 days a week, and that's fine. But I constantly had to like rebuild my momentum. And I think like people saw me constantly like starting and stopping, and they didn't see like me treating it like a business. And so if we think about it as like a Starbucks or a whatever, like a storefront business, they have to show up every single day. Granted, you guys don't have to show up from like 9 to 5. You can show up from like 1 to 3, like I do for nap time or whatever time in the day. But as long as you're like showing up every single day and treating it like a business and treating like your Facebook, like your storefront, and just like setting those boundaries where, you know, like Monday night I have this call that I have to be on and get excited about it, and we can share about it and talk to each other about it and talk to other people about it. It kind of like builds that momentum and share, like showing that like this is something you're serious about and this is something that like you're excited about. So that's my little spiel on like treating it like a business and showing up, because I'll be here. And I don't want to just talk to myself. I mean, I could talk to myself, but that's not as fun. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
You got in on my rant on treating it like a business, which I'm sure you've heard me say a million times already. Okay.
Yeah, but it's never, it's never like easy. It's never easy to just say, I'm going to do this now. And then the actions.
Yep. Well, and it's really like, and I feel like being a mom and like working full time, it's kind of like the same thing. Cause it's like, you know, like, okay, I work from like 9 to 5. So like, when can I fit in my like hour of work? When can I get my workout in? And I feel like when you can schedule it in that way and take it, like even taking it serious, like, okay, you know, from 8, I'm just going to pretend these, I don't know if you would use these for hours, but we're going to pretend. So from like 7:30 to 8:30, I'm going to work my business. That's going to be my business time before I have to leave, and treating it like a business hour, like an appointment. And I know for me, like, that's how I do it with Grayson. I just know when he's sleeping at nap time, that is the only time I have like 2 or 3 hours to work my business. And if I don't get my stuff done then, now by the end of the night and he's in bed, I'm exhausted and I'm like, peace out, I'm going to bed. Or like in the mornings, I do get up at 6, but that's my time to like fill my cup, right? So it's like, I know and there's been days where I nap half that time, but I try and get done like a chunk of my work and then I nap. But I know like if I neglect my work time during nap time, it doesn't get done that day. So it's like, that's me treating it like a business and just knowing that I need to show up during nap time because that's the only time I can do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not that I was just talking to you, but in general and everybody watching the recording. So tonight I wanted to just really talk about goals and vision, and then kind of like breaking down like this month's goals, and then like what your goals could look like each month. So we want to make sure, obviously, if you've been doing this for a while and you've listened to any like goal training, I'm not going to go into like what goals are or anything like that, but making sure that they're realistic and measurable. Because I've done goals where like they're not realistic and I don't know how to measure them. And then at the end of the year, I'm like, oh, I didn't even get close to that because they're like so far out there, or I like didn't measure how I was even going to get there. Like, oh, I want to be healthier. I feel like that's a goal that a lot of people set, like, oh, I want to just be healthier. And it's like, okay, well, how are you going to know you're healthier at the end of the year? Like, what kind of like things can you put with that to be measurable? So it's the same with our business, like saying something like, oh, I just want to make more money. Okay, well, let's put like a number to that, just so we know at the end of the year, like, did you come close to that? Did you surpass it? And just so we have like some type of measurable like goal to go with it. And for me this year, I'm doing something a little bit different than I've done in the past for goals, where I'm just setting like one big business goal. And then I'm doing like some fun personal goals that I know will only happen if my business and income grow, if that makes sense. So for example, my big business goal is I want to be making like a solid 6 figures in my first business center. Like that's my only one goal I'm focusing on. I'm not really focusing on rank or volume or like bringing on X amount of personally sponsored coaches, or like in the past, I've even had it where I'm like, I want to have 5 diamond coaches on my team, or I want to have 5 5-star diamond coaches. And those are like great goals. And I know they have to happen for me to hit that big goal, but they were goals I couldn't control. Like I can't control you guys going diamond or 5-star. And I've had a lot of years where I've had those goals on my list, and then I get to the end of the year and I'm like, well, crap, I'm like so far from that, but it's because I can't control other people working their business, right? So that's my one goal. And I know that for that goal to happen, all those other things have to or not have to happen, but have to like increase. Like my rank has to increase, my volume has to increase. I do have to have diamond coaches pop up, or like more star diamond coaches pop up. And that means that I have to do a better job, like mentoring and like not necessarily checking in, but just like bringing on, like I'm going to have to bring on more coaches, and like all that stuff has to happen for that big goal to happen. But for me in the past, I used to break it down to where I had like all of those things as like goals. And that stressed me out a little bit because I was like kind of scatterbrained. I was like focusing on like a million different things instead of like just having one focus and being like, the income is what is going to make like the most impact in our lives personally. You know, like the rank doesn't make an impact in my family's life, you know, or the volume really. I mean, that helps with the income, but you guys know what I mean. So like that's a big like business goal. And then like a fun personal goal I put with that was I really want to hire somebody to come clean my house once a week. Like that's like a personal one where I'm like, before this baby comes in August, we will have somebody that comes to our house and cleans our house once a week. And like for that to happen, I know I need to make more money, just because like that's the only way Nick is going to be like, yeah, we can hire somebody to come once a week. Cause I don't know. I haven't even looked into like how much that costs, but it's probably like 50 to $100 a week. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. So I'm just thinking like, okay, $100 a week. So knowing that, like, that's a fun personal goal that kind of like motivates me to like show up every day. Or other ones like, I want to buy all new like office furniture, or we want to buy like a new bed set. Like that kind of stuff is like personal goals, but you can know, like you can tie it with your business, if that makes sense. So like, okay, well, if we want to have a cleaner come and that's an extra $400 a month, that means with my business, I want to bring on an extra $500 just so I have $100 that pays for Shakeology or whatever. So like, it kind of gives you that like the goal to tie with your business, but it's more like fun and personal than just being like, oh, I want to hit diamond, or I want to hit Success Club 5. Like those are fine goals, but they're not like personal or like exciting goals. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I am going to like put you guys on the spot because I said I was going to do this. And I would love to hear like one of your big business goals, and then like one personal goal that you're kind of like tying with your business that really excites you. Because I think I wrote that down too, is like making sure your goals excite you. And it's not just like, oh, you saw somebody else post that they want to do X, Y, and Z, so you want to do X, Y, and Z. Like what are some real goals that like excite you? Like having a house cleaner come once a week excites me so much because our dog sheds like a mofo and it's ridiculous. And I probably have to vacuum so many times, and it'd be so nice to have somebody just come and deep clean once a week because I don't like doing that. So like for me, that's exciting to think about. So I would love to hear like where you guys are at with just like your goals for like one big business goal for the year, and then like a personal goal, whether it's something like you want to achieve by the end of the year, maybe the first quarter, or like for me, by the time this baby comes. That's kind of where I'm at. So who wants to go first, or I'll call you out?
I am sitting out on my couch because my husband has the office area, so I don't even have like something to write with or anything like that. But just off the cuff, like we posted a few days ago, I think, about like reinventing your goals and kind of simplifying them, and I think that really resonated with me because this has always been, except for maybe the first week that I joined you in Beachbody, this has always been a business opportunity.
Right.
And I've never treated it like a business. So it's never grown like a business.
Right.
But when I think about it, I want it to make me money.
Right.
And that's what my goals like boil down to, is to have the flexibility to have the time to build a thriving business, a business that happens to, you know, pay off and helping people, and like, you know, I mean, that to me, that's just icing on the cake. It's like I can make money being an engineer, or I can make money helping women find out who they really want to be, and like peel off the layers and, you know, be real. So
it's like you can make an impact, or you can make an income making an impact.
that's right.
Like that's like that's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, anyway, that was kind of like a long way of saying that when I started shifting that mentality towards, okay, well, like you said, you get up in the morning and you work like a 9 to 5 job. Well, I need to get up in the morning and, you know, do what I need to do to make Beachbody feel like a business that I want to keep doing. Obviously. So
right. So what does that look like? Like, have you thought about that? Like, what do you feel like you have to do? Because this is going to be different for every person, right? But like, what do you feel like you have to do to personally make this feel like a business, and so you treat it like a business? Because you've been doing it for a long time. You know, it's not like you're brand new. So it's like, what shift there has to happen that you haven't maybe done in the past?
I need to put more value in the results. I've been, I don't want to sound negative about it, but I mean, if we're sharing, and since this is being recorded, maybe other people have the same thought. You know, I've been kind of frustrated lately because I have been so focused on focused on like getting more customers, making more connections, networking, and I have been just sidelined. I let myself be sidelined so many times because someone chose something or someone else. So, you know, putting myself first as far as building, you know, like you said, filling your cup first, obviously would help with those feelings. But I mean, I want to feel like I have the billboard, you know, that my brand is who I am, and that I feel like I deserve those customers. And I know that feeling that way comes from the inside. So like working on that first is obviously going to be the priority. But yeah, I mean, I need to stop putting those barriers up, because if I'm putting those barriers up, other people are going to sense those barriers.
Right.
And I caught myself doing it several times today, even. You know, some of my friends who were customers in the past are like posting about being happy about eating low carb cheesecake, and oh my God, that's not what life's about.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know why they stopped. I don't know why they, you know, stopped working out with me or anything like that. But I just have to move past that all and just know that I am the person that I need to be for somebody, and I need to be out there for somebody to see.
And I think you need to share like the progress you have made over this time that you have been coaching, because I mean, you've lost 100 pounds in your own journey. Like, do you share that enough? Because I feel like people like, especially people that you start building relationships with now, if they don't see that enough, not that you have to say it every day, but like even sharing your story about that once a week, like that shows people that like you have the credibility to help them lose 25 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, because you've done it. Like, you've done that, Jen. You know how to do that. You can help people do that. And then that hopefully will inspire them to want to do the same thing that you're doing, and helping other people make that impact and make that income that comes with it, you know?
Yeah. And that's where I've been, you know, so long ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, that I've if I don't if I don't make it valuable, then other people aren't even going to know about it. And that's what I was having a conversation with another one of my coaches who happens to be my mom. And, and, you know, we were just talking through it. And she's like, Jen, you're in such a better place than you were 5 years ago. So don't discount the progress that you've made.
Right. Right. And sharing that, like sharing how you're in a better place now than you were 5 years ago, because that's part of the journey too. It's not just the like the physical part and the physical transformation that we need to make sure we're sharing, but sharing how you are in a better place, like mentally and emotionally and spiritually and like the whole thing. Because I feel like the people who want to make that full transformation are the people that will stay with. The people who just want to like transform their body in like a month are going to be the ones who are like, oh, low carb cheesecake.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's not, give me the real cheesecake and I'll be happy about it. Like, I don't care. So how can you turn that into a business goal? Like, obviously it's to make more money. So like thinking about that, like what does that have to look like? Does that make sense? To kind of like, and I don't know, I guess, I mean, we've talked, but I don't know if like, you know, to give you more time to work this business, does that mean going part-time? Does that mean finding part-time work? Does that mean quitting your job like altogether? Like thinking about that kind of stuff too is like, okay, if you want to quit your job, then what does that income have to look like from Beachbody?
Right. And I know like really just right now, I mean, the 2-year goal is that we have a baby and that I am at home with baby. But right now, I mean, just having the additional income so that we can pay off some of the crap that, like, you know, John's been in pilot school. So I mean, we got to start paying those things off. So that just to provide our family with some relief is going to be huge.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I almost feel better whenever I think about a monthly goal. Like if I can just make more money than last month.
Right.
I mean, is that too narrow-minded? I mean, because ultimately I just want to, you know, make all the money and like do all the things. But
well, you could do something too where it's just like, okay, every month I want to make $100 more or $200 more, you know, and start there. And maybe, thanks Jenna for helping her. And starting there, because you can figure like that out, like, okay, or even if you're like, okay, we have this much debt and you want to like pay off a certain chunk of it, like you could even backtrack that into like, well, if I just make $100 more than I made the month before, like that compounds. Like if you make $100 this month, $200 next month, $300 the next month, $400, like by the end of the year, that's, what is that?
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4.
Would it be 1,200? Well, that's not right. 1,200. Wouldn't it be more than 1,200? Like you'd make the whole year? You'd be making 1,200 that whole month?
Yes, and then plus the 1,100 plus the. I mean, it's a lot. It's like there's this Facebook post that goes around that's like, would you rather have a penny for a day or $100,000 right now?
Right.
And somebody takes 100,000 and they're out of money by the end of the year, and the other guy's like, well, I have $12 million now. What about you?
Right. And it's just that. So if like that helps you like with goals, do that. And if that's easier to like focus on, is just like every month I want to make $100 more. So what does that look like? That looks like helping 2 new people get started every single month. If they start with a challenge pack, that's $50 a person. Like that's the easy way to break that down. So that's super easy to think about.
Yeah. And that is I guess a more, what am I trying to say? Like a tangible way, as opposed to getting, kind of locked into the, well, how many times am I going to cycle? Is that going to make me, I'll make the cycle bonus exactly what it is.
Right.
A bonus.
Right. A bonus. And eventually as everything grows. So like as you bring on new clients and your old clients start seeing results, those clients will hopefully want to turn into coaches, and you just kind of do the whole cycle over and over again. And I think if we really can focus on like bringing on clients and really helping them get results, they're like a walking billboard for it anyways. And hopefully organically they want to be a coach because people are like, what are you doing? Like, you look so happy, or you look so energetic, or you look amazing, or whatever, and it just kind of like organically happens. But I think that starts with us really helping our clients get those results.
Yeah. And I've been trying to really, really love on the people that I have. At the same time, not letting them like drive me crazy, because it is so hard to watch people ignore your messages, or openly post that they're frustrated with their, like, I mean, or go through life and just completely like not think about their health and fitness. And so I know it's just timing. It's not, they're not, there might not necessarily be the right people, and I'm still gonna love on them until they tell me not to. So.
Right. Well, and I think the more that you share your story and your journey and what you're going through and like how you're changing into this person, eventually it will click with them that like, okay, now I'm ready to go. And you might not even have to like be checking in with them. It might just be them seeing your posts every single day. And it might be a year from now, or it might be 6 months from now. But just know, like, 1, we can't pull people along. But 2, all we can do is like really focus on ourselves and commit to ourselves and sharing that journey every day, and like the struggle and the realness and the rawness and like the happiness that comes with it. People will want that,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. That's like business goal. Make $100 more every single month. I like that, because that's like, you can wrap your brain around that, I think. Personal goal. That could be linked with your business goal. That's like, you can get excited about. Not like,
I know it's hard.
I feel like that one's kind of like, you can get excited about that, but it's not as exciting as like, hiring a house cleaner.
Right. No, that's a really great one, because I told my husband when we sorry, I'm talking like we're on a call with a bunch of other people.
No, that's okay.
John is my husband, everybody. When we bought our house in Virginia that we're finally going to get to sell like in June or July. I told him, we kind of overbought, and so then we were like stuck with this enormous payment. We have been stuck with this enormous payment, and I told him, I was like, the next house that we buy, we'll budget and then subtract $1,200, whatever the payment's going to be, to set aside for a year. And if we can't pay for a cleaner, then we're not buying the house.
There you go.
That's how we figure out what we're going to afford. Because you're so right. Like, having somebody, I mean, especially when you have 2 children now, is going to be huge for you. Something fun, man. I mean,
even like having an extra $100 to buy like a new outfit every single day, or every single day. That would be sweet.
Yeah. So, that's a good one, because I loved doing, not every single day, but maybe like 2 outfits a month. Yeah. I used to do Stitch Fix. And my favorite shirts, which I'm sure people get tired of seeing them because I end up like in so many pictures in them, but my favorite shirts came from my stylist at Stitch Fix. So just having an extra $150 to $200 a month for them to send me 5 pieces, and then not feeling bad sending some of them back because it costs shipping to send them back, would be awesome.
That's a good one. That's an exciting one. I used to love Stitch Fix too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll pass it to Jenna, and then we'll catch Allie.
No, I'll let someone else go.
Okay.
Sorry for commandeering the call. I didn't realize
that's okay.
Other people were.
No, that's okay. Okay, Jenna, let's hear what you got.
For my business goal?
Yeah, let's start with your business goal.
Okay, well, after hearing you talk about like setting just a goal for 6 figures, setting the goals for like 2-star aren't super exciting for me. Like, I thought I was supposed to set them because like you're supposed to set them, right? And so like, yeah, like I want to be 2-star, but that doesn't excite me as much as like saying I want to make $2,000 a week. Like, that excites me more than being 2-star.
Right. Right.
So I think that's my business goal. I want to make $2,000 a week.
That's awesome. And I think it's because like you can visualize like what you can do with that $2,000, you know,
Mhm.
or that really that $8,000 a month. Where two
Right.
starts like it's great, like it's a great, awesome business goal to get to, and it's like your first really big one to get to. But it's also like when you hit it, you're not like, okay, I'm 2-star. What can I do with it? It's like, okay, I'm 2-star. I gotta keep going. You know, where it's like when you hit that 2,000 mark, it's like, oh my gosh, this has like brought like so much freedom to our family, or this has made such an impact in my family's lives, or I'm able to like, because I know you want to like help your parents out, and like you're able to actually like put something physical with that, where like 2-star, it's really hard to like put something physical with that.
Right.
So that's really good. I like that. Okay. And then a personal goal that's attached to business.
The idea of saving money is really exciting for me. So I think to just like have a paycheck and then not even touch it, just like watch my savings grow makes me really excited.
Like just hoard your money. I'm just gonna hoard.
I'm a money hoarder. I am.
Okay.
And so like
you
when
need
you're
to
talking about your
spend your money.
Stitch Fix, how would I?
I said we should force you to spend your money.
Oh,
Except that might cause
I
you
need to. I just don't know what I'd buy. I'm horrible at that.
So maybe start thinking about that. Like, what would you do if you had an extra? I mean, when you're making $2,000 a week, what would you do with that? What would you spend it on? I mean, some of it has to go to taxes. Hate to say it.
But
Some of it has to go to taxes. Some of it has to go to paying yourself, you know, because now you have enough income where like you're growing a business. What would you do with it? Think about that, because that's kind of fun to think about, you know, and not.
I like seeing other coaches like when they go get their nails done and their hair done. That looks fun.
And just being able to like
little things
go
like that.
and do it. Yep. I'm such that little person too. It's not like I'm gonna go buy a car, brand new car. I'm like, no, just like having extra money, be like, I'm just gonna go get my hair blown out and have somebody else
on a Wednesday.
In the middle of the day, because my child's at daycare and the house cleaner's at my house. Like,
yes. Sounds like the perfect
and then we'll go shopping, and then I don't know what else. Probably take a nap. No, just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, like those little things of like, and that's like helping you guys create that vision for like a year from now. What do you want your life to look like? Because we all know how fast a year can go. Like, I can't believe 2018 has come and gone already. So like thinking about at the end of 2019, like, what do you want your life to look like? Like, do you want to have it be where you can be like, I can get up and like go do all that like fun, fancy stuff and spoil myself and know that like I don't have to try and like scrape pennies together to do it, or like envisioning that too, because I think like the goals are awesome, but the vision for what you want your life to look like, that I feel like, I know for me, that's what keeps me going. Like that's what kept me going. I mean, that's what has been keeping me going for the last 7 years, even though I haven't hit a lot of the big goals I've set. Like that vision of just knowing like this is the only thing that can get me to that complete life freedom that I want. Like going back to get a job, that makes me go backwards, you know? So it's like, this is really the only opportunity that can get me to where I want to go, that I would enjoy doing. So like thinking about what that vision is for your family and your life stuff too, that will help you keep going. So the 2 questions I wanted to leave you guys with. Okay, so what do you want your life to look like 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years from now? Like even thinking about that far ahead of time, like, which is crazy to think about, but comes fast. And then this is a question that I have done recently that I actually haven't done in the past, but it's, who do you need to become to have that life? Because obviously you can't be the same person, and obviously like your core is the same person, obviously, but like, who do you have to become to have that life that you want to have? So for like example, for me, some things that came up was like, I need to be more confident. Like that person who has that life that I have, she's confident and she treats her business like, or she like treats her work like she's an entrepreneur, and she knows her worth. Like those kind of things are like the things I'm talking about. Like, who do you need to become to have that life? Because you're going to have to grow into that person, right? And I think for me, that's why I'm like the same, really, like the last couple of years with my business. And I'm going to tell you guys, like my business hasn't grown a lot in the last couple of years. And I think it's really because I haven't really thought about like, who do I have to grow into to have that 6-figure business, to have all these leaders on my team. Like I have to grow into that leader, and I have to grow in that confidence and know that like I am worthy of all of it. And that's something I personally have struggled with in the past. And I know like this year it's going to be huge because I broke through a lot of those like barriers. And I know now, like, this is the person I have to be to have this life that I want to have. And I know that's like, it's a super deep question and it takes some thinking, but knowing that, it's a lot easier to grow into that person, because you can think about like, okay, I struggle with confidence, so I need to do some personal development on confidence. Or I struggle with leadership, so I need to do like personal development on leadership. Or maybe you struggle with finances, like knowing that you need to do like that kind of personal development on finances. But it really comes down to that like inner growth and making sure that we're like constantly working on our inside, and then our outside will transfer and change and transform, which I feel like has been like my biggest thing, like my biggest like for 2018 was just like all the inner work and all the like ahas that I thought I got rid of, that I'm like, this is still like following me around. Like, leave me alone. So yeah, those are kind of like big goals that I would love to hear, like when you guys kind of like journal through it, I'd love to hear what they are for you. And then the last thing was kind of like this month goals. So, and this is kind of like, you two are still like, I don't want to say older coaches, but you're not like baby brand new coaches. So like, this is a good these are good goals for you guys too, but also for like new coaches, it's a good goal is to help at least 3 people get started with their health and fitness journey with you. So I wrote down 2, like for them, like you guys might know this, but for you guys who are newer coaches who are watching, how to do that would be to like commit to your own journey, commit to you getting results, and sharing that, like sharing the crap out of that. And not in the sense where you're like gross spammy, but like you're sharing your journey. Like it's almost like a Dear Diary, and sharing like the struggles and the realness and the rawness and what it looks like and all that kind of stuff. Like people love to see that. So sharing your journey daily. And I feel like now it's so much easier to do that with like Instagram stories. Like for people who are like, I know like a couple years ago, people would always tell me they were scared to like post. And now I'm like, put it on your Instagram story. Like get used to posting on your Instagram story, because it's gone in 24 hours. Like at least if you like screwed up, which you can't really, like it's gone in 24 hours, or you delete it. Like people, you can delete things. You can delete things. I've done it many times where I like post and I'm like, oh, that was horrible. Or like it came off the wrong way, and I just like go and delete it and it's fine. But I think like when you're sharing your journey, sharing from the heart is going to be the biggest thing. So that, and then I even wrote for like actions for this, and this is going to be different for like maybe you guys who've been doing this for longer, but like even messaging and building those relationships with the people who are liking and commenting on your posts, because that at least gets you guys who are newbies building relationships with people and not just like waiting for everybody to come to you. So if people are liking and commenting, like just reaching out and just being like, thanks for the love and support on my journey. Like it means a lot. How are you doing with yours? Or do you have any New Year's resolutions? Like you could ask that, and I could guarantee you like 90% of the people are gonna be like, yeah, I want to stop drinking pop, or I want to like lose 100 pounds. You know, like people are going to have something. So like even just starting that, like building of a relationship there, and it doesn't have to be anything that leads to coaching or Beachbody right away. It can just like, you're like just building that relationship. So that, and then the second one would be hit your first rank goal, which is Emerald, or for those of you who are Emerald, adding at least 2 new coaches. So that's the same thing, like basically helping 2 new people sign up and partnering with you as coaches. And I wrote down for like the how of that would be like, make a list of the people who you think could benefit from anything that coaching has to offer. And I feel like there's a lot more that coaching has to offer than we really think. Like right away, I think like income, but really it's like the community aspect of it, the extra like I was going to say extra source of accountability, but it's not really a source. The extra accountability, or like the resources, or just the simplicity of like our programs and like getting that on discount. I don't know. I think honestly, if you can lead with the community aspect, that's going to bring on like your lifers, you know? So I know for me, like talking about the income, like that's great, but I don't want to just bring on people who want to make income. Like I want to bring on people who like, yeah, have that vision for the income, but also like want a community and want to build a business and want to like be part of our tribe, right? So like, you could even make a list of like why, like what you feel like your benefits are from becoming a coach, like, and just sharing those even when you're talking about coaching, like that's huge because that's going to like attract those people who are like you. So that, and then offering the discount to current customers or new customers. I guess those are the only two things I wrote down for that. Or even like, I guess another one would be like even thinking about people who you think would be really amazing at coaching. Like maybe they're already like going to the gym, or they're already like sharing about their health and fitness, like just mentioning it to them. And we'll have a call. I don't know when we'll have it. Maybe we'll have it next week, depending on what people think. But even like just talking about like messaging and like how to word things. And I can show you guys just like some of my messaging. Not that I think scripts are the way to go, but sometimes it's nice to just see how like simplistic an invite can be. So we can maybe talk about that next week, which would be good because we could talk about it next week, and then we could do like a sneak peek or something like that the week after or something like that. So maybe we'll do that next week. So that's all I have. So any questions? Do you guys have any questions? No? Are you excited? I'm kind of excited for these kind of calls where it's just like we kind of like interact and talk and like get to know each other, and it's not just like me spewing info at you guys.
So. Yeah, I'm excited because I kind of missed the coffee chats.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And those were fun, but I found too, it was like, I think doing something like right away on a Monday night kind of sets all our minds like, okay, you know, like I got my call on with my girls, and now it like kind of sets your whole tone for the whole week. Hopefully is what I'm kind of hoping. I know for me, like it kind of excites me like, okay, now I'm going to get on the Misfit call, and now I'm going to like, it gets me ready for like the whole week. So hopefully that's kind of like, I'm hoping. And this is something that you guys can invite like your coaches to too. So if you guys have like business builders or coaches who you're like, they want to get on and like be leaders too, like you can invite them to this too, and they can jump on with us too. My only thing is that they have to be interactive. So nobody's going to fly on the wall. I will call people out. So they need to know that. And I know that's super scary for a lot of people, which is probably why a lot of the girls didn't get on. I might be calling them out. If you're watching the recording, is that why you didn't get on? We're not scary.
Well, I was really not well rehearsed. So let that be a lesson.
Right. You don't have to be well rehearsed. No.
Good.
Fine. This is real life. Okay, so that's all I have. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording. Actually, I'll just probably end it. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for getting on, girls.
Bye.
I missed your face.
Bye.
And I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.
See ya.